In this quick tutorial, we're going to have a look at how to digitize or trace a design. Our example that we're using here is the design engineering process. So you can see I've got my shapes around. I'm just going to focus on one for now. So I'm going to go with Imagine. Okay. What I want to do is I want to zoom in on that area. Okay. Now this could be a digital image that you want to make a copy of, or it could be a photo that something that you've drawn. All right. So I'm going to start by thinking about the basic shape. So the basic shape here is a circle, right? So then I can start with my shape tools. So if you can use a shape, that's great. You might not get it perfect first time. I'm going to hold down the shift key. That makes sure I draw a perfect circle. So I'm holding down the shift key, and it's okay if I don't get it right first time. It's off a little bit. I'm going to adjust it, and then I can move it over my shape. And I think I got that pretty good. To make it a tiny bit bigger. You can see I can edge it out there. Now, any problem with that now is the shape is filled on the inside, okay? So I can't see the rest of my design. The way I like to combat this is go and make my fill shape transparent. Now I can see. So now I'm going to focus on my gear around the edge. So the main tools we want to use for this kind of depends on what the design we're tracing is. In this example, it's very straight lines. So I'm going to come up here to my select line tool. I'm going to use the polyline tool, right? So you either want to use the curve or the polyline. In this example, like we said, it's straight lines, so the polyline makes sense. If it was something with lots of curved parts, we would use the curve line. So just to kind of quickly demonstrate on the side here, I'm going to click and drag, click, click. Anytime I want a point where I change direction, I can click. And if I can bring the end to the start, I make a shape. Now the great thing about this is I can then adjust the color of my shape and make it my own, right? So instead of having to be stuck with this circle being blue and the gear being white, I can manipulate and edit it myself, right? So I'm just going to get rid of this one. So I'm going to select this one and just delete that, just as my example. The one tip I'm going to give is if you zoom in, right, with the magnifying glass, it really helps, all right? So I'm going to not go all the way around because that would be a boring video and you'd have to watch me doing a lot. So I'm just going to do a section, maybe these top three here, right? So I'm going to start by clicking. So I'm going to click, and you can see I've started to draw my line. I'm going to go to the corner. I'm going to click. I'm going to go to the next corner. Click, and so on. Click, and here I'm going to deliberately make a mistake. So I'm going to go up here a bit too high and deliberately make a mistake because it's okay. We can take our time because we can fix it afterwards. The biggest mistake people make is that they go too fast and they double click, right? So I'm going to come down here as if I had gone all the way around. And then when I get near the end, I bring my end to the start, and you can see there I've got my shape. So you can imagine me doing that all the way around, okay? So here's where I made my mistake. The great thing is I can get the select tool and double click. When I double click, I then get these nodes that I can edit. So remember, this was the one I messed up. I can bring this down, and you can see I can adjust it and fix it. So I can manipulate this image however I want, so really make it my own. And you can see there now I've started to trace all the way around. All right, so take your time. The biggest tips I'm going to give you: zoom in, slow clicking, not quick clicking, because if I start my shape, click, if I double click, it ends. See that? I double click and it ended. And the last tip is you want to make sure that when you are clicking, you are separating it out. If you click too close, it ends. All right, you want to try and go around it all in one go.